This is SEC football presented by Allstate, and this is Columbia for the state championship of South Carolina for the 122nd time. It's the Clemson Tigers and the South Carolina Gamecocks. He's the College Football Hall of Famer, Matt Stinchcomb. I'm Taylor Zarzer. Alyssa Lang is down there in the madness. We'll get to her in just a second. They say throw out the record books, and I know the teams would like to do that this year given the way their seasons have gone, but in some ways that makes the game mean even more.
No question. I mean, you look at it, obviously Clemson bowl eligible, but no conference championship on the horizon for them. Same obviously true for South Carolina. No postseason availability for the Gamecocks. So this is a championship game. This is the championship for the state of South Carolina and the bragging rights for these two fan bases.
And the quarterbacks are two that were given so much accolades going into the seasons. Let's start with Lenora Sellers, who had an all-world performance against Clemson last year.
And you think about the way he was able to make plays with his legs, and of course this year has been harassed for the bulk of the season. 37 times sacked as a passer. Obviously going to need another epic performance from him today, and obviously try to build on the last 2 weeks out.
And then there's Cade Klubnik on the other side for Clemson coming into the year. He was a Heisman Trophy candidate.
Far less explosive though for Cade Klubnik this season. 20 fewer passing touchdowns. Part of that a function availability out wide at receiver and departure at tight end. Both these quarterbacks come into the season highly touted, high hopes. Cade Klubnik, a guy that they are counting on to play better, did not start the season the way they wanted to, has played much better football the second half.
He'll get the football first as we go down to Alyssa.
Guys, this is a game where the road team has won the last 4 years in a row. In talking to Dabo Sweeney about last year's matchup, he called it heartbreaking, but he said you'd rather feel the sting of defeat than never play in a game like this one. For South Carolina, they're trying to hone in on what they did a year ago on the road in Death Valley. Shane Beamer telling us he pulled plays from the fourth quarter where his team simply out-physicaled the Clemson Tigers on their way to a victory, saying if we play clean football and can wear them down from a physicality standpoint, he believes the home team might finally get the victory this year.
Just listen to how much it means. Tigers start at the 25-yard line. Cade Klubnik, the senior from Austin, Texas, comes onto the field, fifth all times in wins by a Clemson quarterback with 25. Taj Boyd, who's here today, Deshaun Watson, Trevor Lawrence, Charlie Whitehurst, and Cade Klubnik. Those five quarterbacks are the five best statistically in Clemson history.
But you saw the production there. Clayton White and the Gamecock defense, they've largely kept Cade Klubnik, certainly as a passer, in check. 2 interceptions, no touchdowns thrown.
In an empty backfield, on the first play, Klubnik downfield, past midfield to TJ Moore.
You talk about explosive plays in the Clemson offense. It's been much more muted this season. Not explosive right out of the gate. Confusion in coverage early for South Carolina on the perimeter. Look at the top side of the screen and you see the switch release. Confusion. End up getting hung up in an easy completion for an explosive play to open this up.
Moore went 75 on the first play against North Carolina. It's 25 to midfield there. Adam Randall, the receiver turned tailback for his final season in college. We saw him last year in the playoffs against Texas turn into a running back with a banged up backfield. He's the replacement to Will Shipley and Phil Maffa, and Randall over 600 yards rushing on the season, a true all-purpose back who's lining up at receiver on this play.
Yeah, certainly will have the attention of South Carolina in coverage and mismatch. Clayton White mentioned, likened him to Nick Harper, different in stature, but a big body and excellent receiver.
On 2nd and 7, Klubnik steps up and it's deflected. J.R. Johnson got his hand on it, 3rd down.
And Klubnik double hitched on that throw. He wanted to get it to Antonio Williams, who won initially, but watch him hitch on this throw. He wanted it now, came down with it, tried to come back. A little bit of pressure there late. Now on this 3rd down. Eyes on the edges. And on Clemson, they've had a little bit of a rotation on the inside, both guards in pass protection. South Carolina feels as if they can win inside out in their pass rush.
Listen to this place, just after noon. Klubnik on 3rd and 7, an out route, and it's perfect with a flag down. Right to the boundary, Antonio Williams with the catch, but what's this flag about? ACC officiating crew led by...
Replay 3rd down.
ACC crew led by Jerry Magallanes. Dabo Swinney doesn't like it. What'd you see, Stitch?
Well, they mentioned it more than likely as confusion at receiver. And you see there covered up, okay? So because of that, he's saying that they had not enough on the line of scrimmage, and because of it, negating that 1st down. Excellent protection by the Clemson offensive line.
Instead, 3rd and 12. Klubnik, clean pocket, over the middle, catch made in Gamecock territory to tight end Christian Bittenker, but he's well short of the 1st down, and Clemson will have to punt.
Huge penalty. I mean, think about it. Come out, you get an explosive play, a conversion on 3rd downs after excellent protection, and then to get a formation issue, not enough men on the line of scrimmage. Interesting call. I'm not sure that I saw it. That's why Dabo Swinney was so upset.
Jack Smith, the punter from Saraland, Alabama, just outside Mobile, will try to pin the Gamecocks deep. The dangerous Vakari Swain is back. It's a short kick. Hits a Clemson defender, and there's a loose ball just at the 16-yard line. That was actually Jalen Kilgore that was back deep there. It's Gamecocks ball, and Lenora Sellers, no one will ever forget what he did last year.
Just remarkable with the ball in his hands. The majority of his rushing yards after contact. He forced 12 missed or broken tackles in that game versus a defense that is excellent at getting the ball carrier down. And we mentioned that to the Clemson coaching staff, and it came up time and time again. It's not about getting to Lenora Sellers. It's about getting him on the ground. It's one thing to get there, which many defenses have been able to do this year, as we mentioned in the open. But how do you get this guy on the ground? So dangerous as a runner.
Jaworn Howell and Matt Fuller both in the backfield. Sellers keeps it himself, and Will Helt and friends clobber him for a loss on the play. It's a loss of 1.
A lot of backfield motion, a lot of ball handling. So you got that the backs in the backfield rather. How South Carolina opened the game versus Texas A&M was staying in that formation as well. Great job by Helt, getting upfield quickly and reading who kept the football.
On 2nd and 11, Sellers will throw underneath, gets it up to the 19 to his big tight end Brady Hunt. 21st catch on the year to make it 3rd and more manageable.
Challenge in this game, early downs. Can you get it to a 3rd down where that run game from Lenora Sellers is still an option? When you look at his rushing yards this year, of his 268 on the ground, 108 of them have come on QB design runs on 3rd downs.
Gamecocks not very good on 3rd down. Clemson very good defensively. Line of scrimmage ball on a 3rd and 5, and well short as Jaworn Howell is Wade Woodaz great four-year linebacker for Clemson, forces a 3-and-out.
Great diagnosis by Woodass. These linebackers are active. They're good in space as well. They can play out into the flat. It's going to be difficult to get those easy yards, quick passes, runs after catch, because Clemson tackles so well. They've only missed 81 tackles this year. That's the best in the ACC.
Mason Love, freshman, has been terrific. 45-yard average. Antonio Williams fields it and goes into the Gamecocks bench. Two teams trade punts early in the Palmetto Bowl.
SEC football is presented by Allstate. You're in good hands. And in part by T-Mobile 5G home internet.
The catch, Steve Fuller to Jerry Butler, and then Woody Dantzler to Rod Gardner. He pushed off. No, he didn't. It was the catch part two. However you feel about it. Of course, if you're a Gamecocks fan, you absolutely think he pushed off. Clemson fans say it's the catch part two. Dabo Swinney had his first win in this rivalry 17 years ago to the day. And his team has the ball near midfield on its second drive, and Adam Randall will get a couple there. Dabo in his 18th year as head coach. A win today ties him with Joe Paterno and Urban Meyer with 187 wins in short of 20 seasons. It's the fourth most all-time in less than 20 seasons. And he loves this team. 6-5 record. Don't get it twisted. He says this team has fought for the place.
We mentioned how much tighter this team got. Said easy in a season like this to splinter, to fracture. He said his guys have gotten tighter together.
On 2nd and 8, it's Randall again, and Randall doesn't get much. Be another third down for Cade Klubnik in the offense here. Picked to win the ACC preseason poll, 1-3 to start the year. No Clemson team that has started with a 1-3 or worse record has ended up with 7 wins. Tigers trying to do that today.
The last third down, the Clemson protection held up. They had a formation penalty. Didn't have enough men up on the line of scrimmage. Looks like a legal formation this time. South Carolina was not able to get home on the last third down.
On 3rd and 6. Klubnik steps up and into pressure, step right into the arms of Troy Pikes. Sophomore from Atlanta forces a 4th down.
That time Klubnik just didn't like what he had downfield because that's a pocket you can pass from. Set the wall nice and high, guard to guard. The defensive tackles didn't get a lot of penetration. The ends were upfield. But Klubnik, who was trying to escape up and through the pocket, and he hasn't had nearly as many explosive runs in that dual threat mode as a quarterback this year as he did a season ago.
You saw Jalen Kilgore, he's standing at his own 10-yard line, waiting on Jack Smith's punt. And Kilgore calls for a fair catch at the 6 and muffs it and dives on it back at the 3.
That's 2. Even the last one, that ball bounced off a Clemson player and Kilgore walked up. I don't know why you would. It's the punt Olympics early and a near disaster for South Carolina.
Well, this season, both teams were expected to be college football playoff contenders. Clemson starting at 4, Gamecocks at 13. But you see the numbers that are off offensively for both teams. Look at Klubnik, all those total touchdowns last year compared to this year. He has been banged up this season. Clemson, 5 losses, most they had since that 6-17 15 years ago. And the Gamecocks losing 7 of 8 in SEC play. Shane Beamer's done a terrific job, though, with the Gamecocks in his 5 years. And from their athletic director earlier this week, said, don't even think about it. Shane Beamer will be back next season as a head coach. He's watching his team operate from its own end zone as Sellers takes the shotgun snap and hands to Jawarn Howell, and Howell moved forward a yard. Let's take a look at the impact players brought to you by Hardy Stitch.
Yeah, Peter Woods, a guy that we'll see play a little bit of offense probably for Clemson. We get some of the short yardage goal line scenarios. Lost some weight, it's been far more dynamic. And Jaden Sellers, really really kind of emerged starting in that Oklahoma game to complement Nick Harbor on the perimeter. LaNorris Sellers' brother has proven to be a prominent piece in the passing game.
On 2nd and 9, Sellers facing pressure, throws, good ball to the sideline, and that's Jared Brown, just his 5th catch of the season. And Brown, the senior from Lilburn, Georgia, is out of bounds for a first down.
Big play. I mean, it doesn't seem like that big of a play, and you're coming out, you're trying to establish some field position. South Carolina didn't do much with that first possession, pinned kind of deep. You're coming in off of your own end line effectively, not a lot of room to work with. You want to get a couple of first downs, and you're coming out offense, if nothing else, to flip the field position.
TJ Parker right in LaNorris' face there. Little brother Jaden in motion, and the fake handoff, and incomplete. That's not a catch. Blown up. Jordan Dingle, Ricardo Jones all over him. Sophomore from Warner Robins, Georgia. It's an incompletion.
You know, we hit it earlier. You know, some of those try to lay up plays, we're just trying to get the ball out in space, knowing that Clemson will be tough to move inside out. Big bodies, we mentioned Peter Woods earlier. So there's not a ton of opportunity in the downhill run game. You try to get into a playmaker, but Clemson's so good with their tackling in space.
And on 2nd and 10, LaNorris wants to step up, and he throws a good ball again to Brown, who fumbles it, and Clemson recovers. It's recovered by TJ Parker, as Brown had a big first down but coughed it up.
The Clemson made a change on their defensive staff where Tom Allen, the defensive coordinator, got in there to change the way that they communicate. Avion Terrell, watch him just rip this ball out. Terrell, rather, rips that ball clean. Great job in the open space.
Stinch, he has 8 career forced fumbles. That's a school record for a defensive back. And the Tigers will have a short field as they get the ball on the Gamecock side at the 45-yard line.
You think you're South Carolina, you pick up a first down, you got an explosive. Clemson's going to be coaching up that snap, though, for sure. Confusion in their zone coverage. That's been the issue in their secondary.
Fake to Randall. Klubnik facing pressure, throws downfield. It's incomplete, trying to get it to Antonio Williams. Sean Murphy and Brian Thomas with the pressure.
And that time, Sean Murphy delayed his blitz. Thomas and Murphy arriving at the same time. Klubnik, it's high load, clean hit, but a nasty hit. You don't want your quarterback getting popped like that early. Those are the types of plays that get in your quarterback's head a little bit, can affect the play later on.
Clemson's offensive line hold up against this Gamecocks front. On 2nd and 10, a lineman scrimmage ball to Williams, breaking a tackle and spinning near the 40 to set up a third down.
You know, Taylor, so far, both these defensive lines, they're box players, linebackers, defensive linemen, asserting themselves in this game, forcing the ball to the perimeter, winning the early downs, and getting it to these 3rd and throw scenarios. We mentioned it earlier, the Klubnik did not like what he had downfield, ended up flushing up and through the pocket, and the Gamecocks were able to get him on the ground.
Klubnik downfield, first down ball inside the 30 to Antonio. One of the best receivers in Clemson history with over 200 catches in his career. Picks up 12.
Williams, watch him just settle down. The middle of that zone, you got 3 defenders converging. Just finds that soft spot in front of Kilgore. And that's a strike from Klubnik. And you think after the shot that he took on the previous snap, able to stand in there and to deliver that ball to Williams, his favorite target on 3rd downs.
50 catches for Williams on the year. Here's Randall, and he spins inside the 25 down near the 23. Randall 8 rushing touchdowns and 3 receiving on the season.
Taylor, we'll see how stubborn Clemson is with their run game. Will they stick with it? You know, South Carolina is very active with their defensive front. Probably the best run concept consistently for Clemson has been that tight zone. That kind of accommodates all the movement that you see from the defensive line.
Randall again on 2nd and 4. And he's right at the first down marker, down to the 19-yard line. It is enough.
See there, just another, it's a zone to the left. Randall's able to push that point of attack. Sometimes you'll see the cutback show up. That time, Big Nick Barrett, the defensive tackle, he tries to backdoor the reach block. That opens up a gap to hit. It's amazing how the ball will find that gap that's unoccupied. Good job by Randall. That's a disciplined run, just pressing that point of attack.
Garrett Riley runs up almost to the 20-yard line to make sure his receiver is on the line of scrimmage. Klubnik looking that way, pressure to the end zone, and on a bust he overthrows Williams in what could have been a touchdown.
A lot of eyes in the backfield. That time it looked like Gerald Kilgore at safety. You see Williams crosses Kilgore's face. It's almost like he didn't even see him. He ends up coming off on the vertical route, the protection collapsing late, and Klubnik just overthrows this football, reminiscent of the throw from Arch Manning last night versus A&M. And you see Riley, he knows that's a missed opportunity, a clear bust in the secondary by the Gamecocks.
3rd year as the offensive coordinator at Clemson. 2nd and 10, Klubnik tries the other side, and it's intercepted, underthrown, and Kilgore picks it off. The 8th interception of Kilgore's career. South Carolina leads the SEC in turnovers gained. No score early. They traded punts, and now they've traded turnovers. Who knows what's going to happen in the Palmetto Bowl? Welcome back to SEC football presented by Allstate, Williams-Brice Stadium, Columbia, South Carolina. Cade Klubnik throws his first interception since the Boston College game on October 11th. 123 passes. He had attempted 185 as a team since the last interception thrown. It's Rasul Faison, the old man, the 25-year-old, one of two 7-year senior running backs for Shane Beamer in the backfield. He's got Faison and Oscar Attaway. We've already seen Jawarn Howell. Matt Fuller is on the bench as well. A lot of options for new play caller Mike Furry. On 2nd and 7, Sellers throws, and it's a completed ball. It looked like Nick Harbor's knee was down, but they let the play continue out past the 40-yard line. The track star is back this week after an injury.
It almost looked like Nick Harbor thought his knee was down. It looks like it was. Well, we're going to take another look at that, because even Harbor was like, hey, no whistle? Okay, I'll take off running.
The previous play is under further review to see if the runner's knee was down.
Should be a quick review for this ACC officiating crew. And by the way, it's an ACC officiating crew, but we don't have them take over the broadcast today to do the ACC replay process because the game is played in an SEC stadium today. But Jerry Magallanes will talk to his ACC colleagues and to replay official Jess Peterson, and this won't last long. Yeah. Harbor had that upper body injury stench in the A&M game after that 80-yard touchdown and that ridiculous thing that happened in the tunnel with the police officer. He missed last week's game, but Coach Beamer said he is fully ready to go today.
Well, look at him smiling. He knew. He's like, look, yeah, my bad. Well, part of it, that's a low ball, and they have Nick Harbor at 6'5". He's 6'6", maybe plus if he's an inch in cleats.
34-yard line.
Yeah.
The line of game was made, first down.
25 catches now on the season for the junior from Washington, D.C.
Nice completion on that one, and once again, big open spaces in the Clemson zone defense. We talked to Lenora Sellers. He said, look, we anticipate they like to play man, but this is the zone coverage that's been a problem. You mentioned it earlier, you know, Thomas Allen, the son of Tom Allen, defensive coordinator for Clemson, coming in there to try to aid in the communication in the back end of Clemson, because they've seen some big busts, explosive plays in the passing game with confusion.
On 1st and 10, it's Faison, and Rasul gets a couple of yards. We've heard a lot of people say these last couple of weeks since Mike Shula was dismissed as the offense coordinator that Mike Furry, the new play caller, the wide receivers coach, would simplify the offense, that they would go quicker. And that's what Shane Beamer has said as well, that he wants the communication to be simpler. He wants the communication to be to every player on the field instead of just to the quarterback, who then has to relay it to the rest of his teammates. And on 2nd and 8, Lenoris will step back. Nobody's open, and Sellers throws to the sideline, incomplete, looking for Harbor.
Well, that time they had him in man, got him to kind of undress the coverage with that short motion. And he had Nick Harbor earlier on the crossing route. See 8 crossing through the screen. Just didn't like it. Good job by South Carolina in protection, an area where they have struggled last week, their only game with 0 sacks. That time the protection held up. Sellers just held on to the football and ended up having to scramble.
Now 3rd and 8 for the Gamecocks. Sellers under pressure and sacked, dropped by Will Helt. The Purdue transfer played 2 years there, had 5 sacks last year. That is his 7th this season.
And here he is, right here. Here's Will Helt. It ends up being a 3-man rush. Sellers presses up in that pocket. He can sit in there. He ends up trying to push up, and what happens a lot of times is those edge rushers, they get to quarterback depth, and then they're going to start working back inside. You don't want to get too deep and allow them to escape.
Love to punt again to Antonio Williams, and Williams will call for a fair catch near his 22-yard line. It's a 48-yard punt. Our Week 14 SEC Network rivalry weekend football lineup continues today with the Battle Line rivalry at 3:30 Eastern. Arkansas hosting Missouri at Reynolds Razorback Stadium. We cap the night with the Sky Cash version of the Iron Bowl. Whole game from just above the field at Jordan Hare. Both games also available on the ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere. Everybody's talking about Lane Kiffin and what he's going to decide to do. Is there really a scenario where if Auburn beats Alabama tonight, Lane Kiffin's not going to coach in the SEC championship game for Ole Miss next week?
If you believe all the reporting, and I think Marty Smith is camped out on Lane Kiffin's doorstep, they're saying a decision has to be made. Is it go, no go? Boy, that's a crazy scenario if Auburn pulls off the upset.
Gideon Davidson's in the backfield, fake to him, Klubnik over the top, and another catch made past midfield, and again it's TJ Moore. 34 yards this time.
We've mentioned Antonio Williams. He's gotten a lot of looks first time, trying to get it to Moore, and another explosive play, reminiscent of how this game started inside the coverage of Cisse. That time a well-placed ball, nice touch by Klubnik. Allowed Moore to run right underneath that. Just like that, Clemson at midfield.
Where they've lived in the first quarter. This is Davidson. And Gideon is tackled by Sean Murphy. Davidson, the freshman from Lynchburg, Virginia, has been the complimentary back to Adam Randall this year.
Well, Taylor, you mentioned it. Clemson's, they've enjoyed really good field position on a couple of these possessions. That last drive, penetrating the red zone of South Carolina, who's had excellent success in the red zone area, partly because of their takeaways. An interception by Kilgore, the 7th takeaway that they've had in the red zone.
A defensive slugfest through 15 minutes in the Palmetto Bowl.
Coach. Cade threw that interception, but now driving. What did you tell him after he came off?
It's got to go to the next play. I mean, unfortunate. Defense got the turnover, playing great. We got scoring zone and missed a wide open touchdown and another just underthrew it to Adam. Great play by their guy, but just got to go next play. Got to keep playing. Really good stop right there. So see if we can finish this drive.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you both. 17th play that Clemson has had on offense so far in the game. This is their 11th in South Carolina territory. And it's a handoff to Davidson, tackled by Nick Barrett. And it'll set up another third down for Clemson. 1 for 3 so far in the game.
Look at these drive starts. So Clemson nearing midfield, and Coach Sweeney referencing the takeaway on the fumble, just couldn't capitalize on it. Another third down. Was a slow start on that down to begin this game. South Carolina, the coverage has held up when the pressure has not gotten there.
Here comes the pressure. Klubnik on the run, throws a perfect ball that's caught by Williams right over Jalen Kilgore. What a ball by Klubnik for a first down of 26 yards.
You see Clemson wants to go fast, now jumping the football, and you mentioned it, under duress. Kilgore was underneath the route, had a chance to make a play on it. It was a perfectly placed ball. DQ Smith, was right in his kitchen, to your point. Davidson with another carry that gets Clemson down to the 12-yard line. You see Clemson staying very patient with the run game. He's sticking with it, plugging away. And they set up those big passes downfield. Obviously that last one, Klubnik having to improvise. We mentioned it, but South Carolina has not gotten home. Earlier, the coverage held up. Just a perfectly placed football. Can they capitalize on the red zone? Second trip. They've made it into this area of the field.
On 2nd and 5, straight ahead, it's Davidson, and he stopped short. Now, it's going to be third down. One of the best things about college football is Williams-Brice Stadium and how this fan base supports its team. Specifically, the student section, the cockpit that's right in front of Clemson at the 10-yard line. And they'll be yelling at the Tigers here. .12 on the field for South Carolina, and Shane Beamer has to use a timeout.
Shane Beamer is, boy, is he fired up. He did not want to have to use that timeout there.
College Football Playoff Selection Show. The bracket will be filled. Judgment Day is here.
Can't wait for that. Shane Beamer has to use a timeout. It's 3rd and 3 for Clemson at the Gamecocks 10. This is Randall, and he's free, and he has a touchdown.
Taylor came out in an entirely different formation than they had prior to the timeout. This time they went big personnel, and Randall able to get to that edge. It looked as if South Carolina got enough penetration and made Randall kind of bounce that run, but his speed to the edge was more than enough.
10-yard touchdown run. Dabo's 93-9 when his team scores first, and they're up 7-0 as we get a studio update. Man, Red Raiders, what a season they have had. Thank you, Peter. Meanwhile, Clemson trying to get to 7 wins after a 1-3 start. It's interesting talking to Dabo Swinney this week. He said that there are a lot of similarities to that 2010 team that went 6-7 that season. And he said the culture was really strong 15 years ago, and because the culture was strong in a season that had so much adversity, it led to all the great success after that. He feels the same way about this 2025 bunch.
He said he thought about it. Actually went back, did some studying. What did I say to that team? It's been a long time since Clemson has found themselves in a similar circumstance. He's coached a lot of football, won a lot of games between then and now.
Let's take a look at Fansville, brought to you by Dr. Pepper.
My favorite is the 5 in a row that we beat Clemson. That's my favorite.
My first one was 1991 here in Columbia, and Clemson won, and it was just a great experience, and I was 10 years old.
Most memorable got to be last year because that's the first time I stormed the field with my kids, as old as I am, and I had a blast.
I love it. Mackeys, the Cataneses, the McQuarters, the Smiths. Palmetto State is divided today. So many great memories in this rivalry on each other's field the last 4 years. Lenoris, easy pitch and catch with Brandravius Jacobs. And Jacobs then runs to the sideline right at a first down marker.
You touched on it to start off. Both these teams, this is where the season kind of culminates. It does every year, but oftentimes there's other sites, we'll call it distractions. They're in different conferences, not this year. This year it almost comes to this. This will be the peak of the season, not just for the fan bases, for the players too.
Lenoris over the middle on a slant. It's Jacobs staying upright and tackled up at the 47 by Cade Dinoff. 12 more for Vandravius. 2 straight.
It's kind of quiet start for Jacobs. I haven't seen them try to put the ball to him. Only 2 targets. 2 catches for Jacobs. You can see why. Shows that explosiveness between he and Nick Harbor. We mentioned Jaden Sellers as well. It's been Jacobs and Harbor have been the top targeted receivers in the passing game.
Gamecocks out near midfield with a fresh set of downs here with 11+ minutes in the second quarter. Lenoris moves the pocket, steps up, throws deep. It's Harbor down there. Got it! yards Sellers to Harbor. Dabo Swinney's called Nick Harbor the most improved player he's seen in college football, and it hurts him there. The SEC's leader in yards per catch with an explosive to tie the game.
South Carolina said the difference in the game for Texas A&M was how explosive they were in the first half. And this first one, this bomb detonates into the end zone. Nick Harbor, touchdown.
With a big hole for Shipley. Shipley's loose. Touchdown, Tigers.
Spencer Rattler wants to launch a deep one, and it is caught. Juice Wells.
Swing it out. That ball could be a live ball. Is it a fumble? There's no ruling yet. That's Khalil Barnes.
Eludes the pressure. There he goes. Lenora Sellers again to the end zone. He made it.
Wild wins in each other's houses the last 4 years, tied at 7 here, and it's Gideon Davidson inside his 5, and he's upended just over the 15-yard line. Dabo Swinney says busts in the secondary have been a problem this year, Matt.
Yeah, so take a look. Here's Harbor at the top, okay, and then here's going to be your safety. But see how low he is? So watch what ends up happening is Jones is rolling to the middle of the field, but watch him kind of check up. So he's looking to the right side of the offensive formation, and that was just enough of a hesitation where as soon as Nick Harbor won inside, he's going to get behind the secondary. So you have to be deeper than the deepest. And at safety that time, the play action was just enough to freeze his feet. The right side of that formation got his attention. That was more than enough for Harbor to get in the end zone.
Klubnik over the middle on a slant. Nice contested catch there by Cole Turner. Brandon Cisse was all over him, second down.
Well, even Dabo Swinney a little bit frustrated with Cade Klubnik on those 2 misses. The drive in the first quarter. Probably 2 sure touchdowns if they're better throws. But since then, even on that previous drive, under duress, Klubnik dialed it back in. Threw off his back foot as he was trying to fade away from pressure. Beautiful ball to Williams. fit it in the window there.
On 2nd and 4, Klubnik pumps and throws, and a good ball to T.J. Moore over the 30-yard line, and Moore's hot to start the game. It's 12 more.
Nice momentum now for Clemson, and these first downs, you're throwing it because you want to. Earlier, offensive coordinator Garrett Riley running the football on early downs, sticking with the run. This time, though, the first down passing game to spark this offensive possession.
68 yards for Moore as Garrett Riley has called his number early. It's Williams running around. Instead, the handoff to Randall with wide open grass in front of him near midfield, and another Tigers first down.
He took out the umpire. So that motion out of the backfield pulls the defender out of the box. See, everybody's leaning hard to the right side of the offensive formation. They found the gap backside.
And around the right side, Randall dives forward. Another nice gain on first down. Brandon Cisse credited with the stop. Think about this guy who was a receiver exclusively for 3 years, learning how to be an every down running back in his final year of college football. 15 carries, 105 yards against Louisville a couple weeks ago.
And right here at midfield, 2nd down and short, this could be a shot play. You see it, they can go max protection, see if you can get it downfield.
Instead, it's Gideon Davidson who spells Randall, comes in to get the first down.
Garrett Riley says, yeah, no, I think I'll just pick up a first down. Keep this possession rolling right now in an offensive rhythm.
I know that Will Shipley and Phil Maffa were just phenomenal sharing the football in their time in the backfield for Clemson. But Randall and Davidson, you see their average, it's almost 5 yards a carry. They're approaching 1,000 yards combined on the season. They've done their part. Klubnik under pressure, throws to the sideline. What a grab. Cole Turner has 2 of them on this possession, and he's down near the 20-yard line, made that catch in front of Cisse.
Well, picking on Brandon Cisse that time. You mentioned it, pressure, so Klubnik has to come off his spot. He throws this one intended back shoulder. So Cisse's running back to the quarterback. Turner makes a great catch.
Klubnik's hot. That's his first incompletion after 5 in a row. He's facing pressure in the backfield. So he was trying to sandwich it in there to Moore. It's 2nd down.
That time Clemson in tempo, jumped over the football quickly, and as you mentioned, we'll see if that's enough for South Carolina to get their feet underneath them, because otherwise Clemson offensively will rocking and rolling, especially on those early passing downs on first downs.
It's nice when you can hear the play call from 6 inches away. Dabo right next to Garrett Riley. Klubnik on a design quarterback run. He gets hit near the headgear, and this is going to be a penalty against the Gamecocks.
That was an ugly one.
Monkel Goodwine.
Goodwine was being double teamed. 2 guys on him. He just reached out for anything.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 44. Half the distance to the goal, penalty, automatic first down.
Yeah, this one, watch, he spins Klubnik all the way around. Ugly. No intent there. Defender's just trying to make a play. Goodwine knew it. No hiding that one. And free yards on a drive where Clemson doesn't need help. And we go back to the beginning of this possession. First down passes. A couple of nice explosives really in that passing game. Got into a rhythm. With a couple of nice runs as well. So a balanced offensive possession to push it back into the red zone.
Goal to go situation at Carolina's 10. Randall has the first touchdown, and he gets almost 7 yards here. DQ Smith, easy for you to say, on the tackle.
It was a nice run by Randall. Felt that one, so he ends up running behind that right side. Harris Sewell at right guard. Good job of washing it down. Zone concept, gobbling up some of the movement of the South Carolina defensive front.
Tenth play of the drive. Randall patiently gets down near the 2. Okoronkwo kept him out.
That time Clemson trying to get some pullers out in front. South Carolina did a good job of reading it inside out. A stout tackle as Randall had a head full of steam towards the goal line. This is an area where Clemson has struggled. They're getting some big bodies in there now. Trying to beef up their personnel, Taylor.
We've seen Peter Woods come in for plays like this, but number 11's not out there now on the 3rd and goal near the 3. Klubnik drifts back under pressure, lost the football, gets it back, tries to run to the pylon and scores. Wow.
Brian Thomas knocks this ball loose. A great effort as Klubnik eluded the would-be sack. Boy, what a great bounce. He got off of the turf here at Williams-Brice. It showed the speed to wrap around the entirety of the South Carolina defense. What an effort. Near calamity for Clemson. What looked to be maybe their 8th takeaway in the red zone, and instead able to field it off the bounce. And we're going to take another look at this to see, I think, if Klubnik got it in the end zone.
He did step on the pylon as he was trying to score. What an effort play by the quarterback.
See Thomas, that second effort to knock that ball loose. Wow, what a bounce though. Klubnik, it's like a shortstop, stayed with it. Now the question is, did the ball cross the goal line before he kicks the pylon? Hard to tell from that angle. It was ruled a touchdown on the field.
It's ultimate judgment call there by Jerry Magellanis, but remember, it's called a touchdown on the field.
And Klubnik put his cleat right on the camera in the pylon cam.
After further review, the ruling on the field is upheld. Touchdown.
Yeah. Nothing to see, I think, that could overturn it. A fantastic drive. We talk about sparking it in the passing game. Able to overcome a would-be fumble. Klubnik extends that football into the end zone. The second touchdown for the Clemson Tigers.
And Nolan Hooser in to attempt the extra point. He remains perfect on the season. Cade Klubnik has never thrown a touchdown pass against the South Carolina Gamecocks, but he has 3 rushing touchdowns against them.
SEC football presented by Allstate is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz and T-Mobile 5G home internet.
Two of the best moments for the Gamecocks in the history of this rivalry. Mike Holt, that 86-yard scoring drive. Black magic. Gamecocks beat Clemson 22-21 to finish the season 10-1. And then in 92, the great Steve Tannehill signing the Tiger Paw with his autograph at midfield. You just have to love this rivalry.
He had a great flow, didn't he? Great flow on Tannehill. Look at
Nick Harbor in the end zone, past the 20, and gets out near the 25-yard line. Yeah, Tannehill had that waterfall that was falling off the neck. Look at that, man, that's a full-fledged mullet. And Charlie Whitehurst, I mean, he went next level once he got to the NFL. That's terrific.
Clipboard Jesus, as he was affectionately called. Tannehill's got that, he's got the recognition here in Williams-Brice, one of the greats. Also had that stub in the old left ear. He had all kinds. He had the great look. It was the Camaro cut.
Tannehill had the win. Whitehurst had 4 of them. Downfield shot. Wow, what a catch! Vandrevius Jacobs is loose. Wow! 74 yards. How about these shot plays by South Carolina?
The coaches talked about it. That was the key to the offensive explosion versus the Aggies. They said we hit those explosive plays. By their count, 6 of them in the first half. So you get that ballistic missile shot to Nick Harbor, and then this one where Jacobs, that ball was thrown high. Jacobs did a great job of going up. Almost confused the Clemson defenders. They're just kind of standing there.
In real time, you have to think Ryan Williams' catch last year against Georgia. I mean, going up for this, spinning around and scoring.
I'm not sure I know. I don't know what Jane Lucas is doing right here. He's underneath the route. Jacobs comes up and Lucas just stops playing. I don't know if he thought that the ball hit the ground or what. Either way, Jacobs.
Look at Beaver.
Yeah, the only guy that could catch him is the head coach for South Carolina. Sprinted down the field. Met him down there in the K, and the Gamecocks down there. What a haymaker for South Carolina. 2 big shots in the passing game to come right back and answer the Clemson scoring drive.
Well, the first quarter was a rock fight. Second quarter, 28 points.
Yeah.
So far.
Yeah.
Still 5:29 to go in the second quarter.
The rock fight to the laser light show. No body blows now. You think about Clemson slogging their way down the field, big drives. And South Carolina coming back just throwing haymakers.
This is fun to follow, PB. What do you got for us? I would think, Pete, if there is a non-quarterback that could get to New York, it would be Jeremiah Smith. On the receiving end of a Heisman finalist, Julian Sayin. Cannot believe Ohio State has not beaten Michigan since 2019. That's at stake there in the big house. Here we're knotted at 14, and Klubnik back to work. Takes a downfield shot into double coverage, and this time Moore is covered up. Kari Swain closest to him.
You see Swain out there on defense. I haven't seen him as a punt returner in this game. Excellent coverage that time, though. Wasn't fooled on first down. Big shot to open up this possession for Clemson in the passing game. Well, South Carolina has been able to get to Klubnik and affect him in that they've moved him off his spot. But Klubnik has shown a little bit of resolve here to buy time and keep his eyes downfield.
Back to the ground with Davidson, no place to run. Dylan Stewart, there he is. The first team preseason All-American on the tackle.
A rundown stunt, so Stewart's gonna loop inside from his defensive end spot. Confuses that blocking on the right side and was sitting there waiting in the hole. A guy that you have to account for at all times, and especially on this down in Dylan Stewart. An excellent pass rush.
Williams-Brice Stadium coming to life. Klubnik on a slant, too far in front of Cole Turner, but there's the flag.
Pass interference, defense, number 8. Automatic first down.
Judge Collier called for it.
And it looked real time. The Collier was there well in advance. Turner already going to the ground. Yeah, easy call for the officials. That time South Carolina looking to heat up. Cade Klubnik able to preserve this possession off of that pass interference call.
Backfield on a first down, it's Williams. Antonio just shy of the 40-yard line. Tackled by Okoronkwo.
You can see Clemson again jumping the football. So you get it, positive yards, get it to second short, now over the football quickly.
And it's Klubnik keeping it, and he's just going to give himself up. Swarmed by defenders, Peyton Williams was right there.
You know, Taylor, South Carolina wasn't really ready for that snap. They were barely back onside before the ball got snapped. A little lackadaisical to get over there lined up. It worked out. Klubnik trying to pull the ball on the perimeter. A third and short opportunity. Clemson's been much better on this down as the game has progressed. 4 of 6 on their third downs.
Toss to Randall, first down run over the 40, near the 43.
Get the ball out on the perimeter quickly. Got a lot of bodies committed to the box. Hard to get outside defensively. That time just toss it. Same side toss. Allows your running back to get out in space quickly. And Randall, we've mentioned him a couple of times. By trade, that wide receiver, comfortable out there in space, made a couple of nice runs downhill as well.
He did hobble off there. Gideon Davidson comes in. Clemson has all 3 of its timeouts and the 2-minute timeout. And it's Davidson approaching midfield with Barrett on the tackle.
You go back to that pass interference call. If you're South Carolina, you're thinking, okay, you earned a chance to get off the field. That PI extending this drive. Penalties a couple times on third downs. Hurt Clemson in their opening possession. They got that illegal formation penalty, forced them to punt. This time, able to extend this offensive possession. Can they capitalize on this drive? The longer drives have been better for Clemson.
Klubnik over the top. He finds his big freshman tight end, Bittenker. And that's a first down. 12-yard completion should take us to the 2-minute timeout. Clemson's on the march, trying to take the lead in the Palmetto Bowl. Look forward to that, my friends. It has been a fun second quarter here, and Clemson's on the march. They have a great kicker who has a big leg. They're approaching his range here, but they have 2 minutes and 3 timeouts and a 1st and 10 at the Gamecocks 40. Klubnik again over the middle, and down at the 30 is TJ Moore right at the first down marker.
Well, they've liked the first down. They've emptied out the backfield a couple of times now. Clean up the formation. Only 4 rushers. Klubnik comfortable in the pocket. Nice wide, clean pocket to throw from on these first down passes.
Klubnik's thrown for 172 yards in this first half with Garrett Riley calling the plays. And he'll throw again here. He'll throw to the end zone. Williams, it's underthrown, but there are the flags. Jalen Kilgore and Peyton Williams down there just never saw the ball.
Pass interference, defense, number 24. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
You mentioned this ball is underthrown, and Kilgore turns around to play it. Nah, I'll see how a flag comes out right there. He turns around to play that football. He's got every right to play it as much as the receiver does.
Yeah, he just saw it in the stadium, and he disagrees too.
Well, Shane Beamer was down there on about the 7-yard line helping out the official. He was definitely in deep disagreement with the call, and I can see why. I mean, Williams, of course, made contact, as did Kilgore, but both of them trying to make a play on the ball.
Davidson down near the 11, and Dabo will call a timeout. He still has 2 remaining and 1:17 left in the half.
Shane Beamer still very heated down here, guys.
Well, justifiably so. You know, he's sitting there and he's thinking, hey, look, I've already seen one come out on this drive on a 3rd and 9. And on that one, it very much looked as if the DB is, you get his head around. It's one thing, right? You make contact, you run into the receiver. That's what you see a lot of times on these underthrown balls. But that time, Kilgore clearly trying to make a play on the football every bit as much as Williams was.
Well, and he has every right to feel that way, as we've shown it to you a couple of times now.
Yeah, I don't see the PI anywhere. He's turning around trying to make a play on it. You know, Williams is grabbing. Williams actually does a pretty darn good job as a DB.
You know who would be doing the same thing if it happened the other way? Dabo Swinney.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Very similar people, Shane Beamer and Dabo Swinney. In fact, Shane said it earlier this week to us. He said, the two of us are passionate people. We really enjoy each other's company. Our fan base probably doesn't want to hear it, but our wives text each other all the time.
Yeah.
We're not texting right now.
No.
2nd and 6. Klubnik will throw it to Randall, and Randall turns back upfield, and here's another flag.
Holding, offense, number 1. 10-yard penalty, replay 2nd down.
Shane Beamer was literally 10 yards on the field trying to help them make this call.
Yeah, he's going to have to stay on that sideline. Looks like the officials are saying, getting with him a little bit. That time a holding call by TJ Moore. He's blocking Kilgore. Not sure there was much of a hold there. Maybe a little bit of a makeup. Backs up the Clemson offense. There's certainly been quite a bit of assistance from the South Carolina sideline with the officiating on the near side of the field. Regardless, takes this Clemson offense just back outside of the red zone. Would be a big stop, to say the least, if South Carolina could force a field goal attempt after the series of events we just saw.
2nd and 16. Klubnik on a bubble. Turner gets blown up. What a lick by Troy Pikes.
South Carolina all over that play. Lots of traffic really on this throw. I'm a little bit surprised it was actually even completed.
Klubnik wanted targeting call.
Looked clean to me, real time. Big hit, obviously.
South Carolina now calling timeout, and why not with their quick offensive plays that they've thrown these home run balls on the last 2 times they've touched it. Just a reminder, coming up at halftime, you can watch the live performance of the mighty sound of the Southeast on SEC Network Plus. Start streaming now on the ESPN app. 1:06 to go in the first half. Clemson 2 timeouts. South Carolina has 1. Home team has not won this game in quite some time, and they are going to review this for targeting. We saw Cade Klubnik make that sign as soon as the hit was levied by Troy Pikes on Cole Turner. We'll have a chance to look at it again here.
See it, the booth initiated this review, so watch Pikes 33. It looks to me like it's mostly his right shoulder. See if this is a better look at it.
After further review, the ruling on the field is upheld. There is no target.
Yeah. I could see why they would look at it, especially during the stop of play there.
Shane Beamer has made up with the officials, just patted them on the back.
Yeah, we're all friends, right? You didn't hear what I said earlier, did you?
And now Dabo's upset.
Yep. And now it's his turn.
Don't you love college football? Love this rivalry. 14 apiece, 1:06 to go in the second quarter. And Clemson can get a first down at the 5-yard line.
Motioning Gideon Davidson back into the backfield. A true freshman. See if he's asked to help in protection if South Carolina brings heat.
Klubnik underneath throw. And it's Bettenker who makes it an easier field goal inside the 15-yard line. South Carolina does call another timeout with 1 minute left, their final timeout.
South Carolina, this is their 3rd and final timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
Now South Carolina, against them in these last couple of games, the opposition has missed 3 in a row. Nolan Hooser, the biggest kick in Clemson history last year in Charlotte to send them to the college football playoffs, that remarkable 56-yarder. But Mr. Beamer's team loves to block them. 17 blocks in the 5 years he's been the head coach here. That's 2nd most in all of college football.
Just to force the field goal attempt alone, which is something that the South Carolina red zone defense has been excellent all season long, is preventing the red zone touchdowns. We've seen Clemson able to capitalize earlier, but it's a big stop given the way that this drive had started.
Gasperson will snap it. Clay Swinney from the Swinney children trio holds it, and Hooser from 32 yards gives Clemson the lead. Nine straight years of a Swinney holding a kick for Clemson. Will, Drew, and now Clay. Well done by Clay. I mean, to think about this, you have to go back to when Hunter Renfrow scored that touchdown against Alabama and the extra point by Seth Ryan to the last time a Swinney didn't hold a kick for Clemson.
How are they going to place kick if they're out of Swinney's? I guess they'll just start drop kicking it. They're running out of holders. Surely there's a nephew or a cousin somewhere.
Clay does have another year left, so he'll be back.
Okay, all right, that's good. So they got a plan. They got to start planning. What are we going to do with these place kicks?
Guys, real quick down here for South Carolina as they get set to receive this kick. Bakari Swain is on the sidelines right now. He's being tended to, that lower left leg. He came up limping after that last defensive stop by South Carolina, so something to keep an eye on here.
Thank you for that.
That would typically impact in the return game, but we have not seen Swain back there, it's been Kilgore.
Short kick, fielded at the 7 by Holman. And how about the last 2 passes by Lenora Sellers?
They've been pretty sporty and highly productive from a scoring standpoint. The big shot, a short rollout, guaranteeing some time, a little bit of confusion in the backfield of Clemson's secondary, hitting Nick Harbor, and then this one, it's a well-placed ball, really poorly defended by Clemson. They had defenders in place. A little bit of confusion. It's almost like they didn't know he made the catch. Jacobs able to do the rest.
About 40 yards to give William Joyce a shot. No timeouts. Sellers is sacked. Well, he gets rid of it right as he was being sacked by Will Helt. It's well done, too, by Lenoris, too, because save the yardage and the time.
Yeah, you never want to take a sack in the 2-minute drill. And taking a look at it, he definitely got rid of that football, able to get it past the line of scrimmage as well.
T.J. Parker and Helt both in there.
Will Helt, he's had a pretty nice first half. Mentioned him a couple of different times from that edge position.
Lenoris, it breaks down again, and he can't stay upright this time. It's Helt. It's Clemson's 30th sack of the year. 14 straight seasons Clemson's had at least 30. And now they will call timeout.
Well, quickly you get to 3rd down and backed up. You're sitting there thinking, all right, look, knowing that South Carolina gets the ball first in the second half, and they preserve another scoring shot. This is something that South Carolina has struggled with all season long. The worst protection team in the Southeastern Conference on about 41% of dropbacks. They allow pressure. It's been a real area of difficulty all season. It's obvious passing scenarios and has really hindered Lenora Sellers' ability to be effective in the passing game.
Just the third down for Shane Beamer's offense here in the first half, and it's a long one.
Well, we mentioned it, I think, a little bit earlier. You know, despite the 14 points prior to this possession, South Carolina had only run 16 offensive plays. They've only got up to 18. This will be the 19th snap on offense in the entire half for South Carolina.
Sellers wants to take a shot downfield. He's hit as he throws, and it's out of bounds. And that preserves Clemson's last time out.
Not only that, but Sellers, he hit his hand. You see him working on that hand, so watch as he follows through. Bam. I think he hit his own teammate. I think he hit right into the back of, it was Rodney Newsom at right guard. I think he hit his helmet as he followed through.
It's Love on to punt. Takes Williams out of bounds inside the 35. Well, 19 seconds left. You do have a timeout. And Hoosier's got a cannon for a leg. So you get 20, 25 yards. Give himself a chance.
And a quarterback that can extend out of the pocket. See if he can give his receivers time enough to uncover. See the last 3 drives, long ones. You know, they had great field position to start the game. They couldn't capitalize on it, punting or turning it over. Instead, it's been the marches that have worked better for Clemson. The last one, of course, resulting in a field goal holding penalty that really hurt that Clemson drive. To force the field goal, pushed them back out of the red zone.
Klubnik. It's a low ball. Looks like it's caught near midfield, and it is by Moore. A 16-yard completion.
Klubnik slow to get up at the end of that play. It looked like it was, I think, Monkel Goodwine that got to him there at the end of the play.
And clock is running.
Clock's
here.
running, and
there you go. Dabo calls timeout with 12 seconds left. Klubnik looks very slow after this play.
He's definitely rattled. He took a big shot. You see him right arm. Big shot from Monkel Goodwine. Clean shot right as he threw it. But a big one, and as you mentioned, was really slow to get up, really slow to work his way up to the football. It forced Clemson to take that timeout. The clock was stopped because of the first down yardage.
Still need about another 12 to 15 yards to give Hoosier a chance here as Cade will come back on the field. He's been banged up this year. He missed the SMU game. But an all-time Clemson quarterback will be celebrated in the upstate forever. The sideline, and Turner can't make the grab with 6 seconds to go in the half. Good coverage by Cisse.
That time he kind of tried to work to the right side of the pocket. South Carolina very active. Another twist up front. Make sure that they had a contained rusher. Ball just a little bit too high, and it looks like he's fine. But after that big shot, certainly slowed down what was otherwise a pretty good first play to start this possession.
Could be the last play. Klubnik over the middle of the field, incomplete. Tried to get it down there to Moore. There is still 1 second left on the clock.
Nice coverage downfield this time. Well timed, hands up right as the receiver goes up. No flag came out. That ball hit the ground just in time for this 1 second on the clock for one more attempt downfield.
No scoring in the first quarter. All of the scoring coming in the second frame. Remember, this was the final score in the Gamecocks' favor last year.
Delay a game, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
It was a really odd final possession of the half. You know, he looked really shaken up after that shot that he took on the completion. You burned the timeout, but then to have a delay a game right there. Not a very clean operation for Clemson to end this half.
Got to go 57 yards to the end zone. And just hand it off to Randall. The ball is on the ground at the end of the half. It won't matter. And Clemson will take a 17-14 advantage to the locker room. They're 160-12 under Dabo Swinney when he has the lead at halftime. But it's only a 3-point lead against Shane Beamer's team. And the Gamecocks will get the ball to start the third quarter. Let's go down to Alyssa.
Their offense has only run 19 plays so far in this game. What do you see from your defense?
Well, I think we've had 17 good plays. I think we've had 2 of the worst plays I've ever seen. Horrible, just horrible plays. And both of them were touchdowns. Offensively, we got good rhythm. We're moving the ball well. I think we scored maybe 3 out of 4 drives there, and then we missed a touchdown twice on the one ended up in the interception. So, you know, lucky to have a lead, so we got to see if we can hold it.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay.
Thank you both. Studio time, and we go back there now with Peter Burns, Chris Doring, and Benjamin Watson. This is SEC football presented by Allstate. Have you gotten your tree yet? Thanksgiving is over, and these two great teams in this awesome rivalry are getting ready for Christmas, and they would love to have bragging rights over each other. First quarter, they exchanged punts and turnovers. The second quarter, they exchanged haymakers.
Yeah, you think about the way Clemson was moving the football down the field, sustained drives, a couple of penalties that came in handy. And South Carolina just comes back and is just hitting shots left and right. The one-play drive, not a lot of offensive possession. Defense out on the football field quite a bit for South Carolina in the first half. But offensively, really efficient after that slow start in the first quarter.
Yeah, and South Carolina will get the ball to start the third quarter down 3 against these Clemson Tigers. Post-COVID came in here and whipped them in 2021 and 2023. Of course, the Gamecocks went to the upstate and beat Clemson in 2022 and 2024. And just a moment ago, Alyssa caught up with Shane Beamer.
Yeah, Taylor, I asked Shane Beamer what he said to the team at halftime. He reminded them of something he told them earlier this week. Our best players have to make plays. He said being on the field for 19 offensive plays is not enough. We've got to generate some momentum offensively. I asked him what he's liking from some of the explosive pass plays that we've seen so far from South Carolina. He actually said the emphasis at halftime was we've got to get the run game going. We've only been able to run the ball a couple of times effectively, and that has to be something that we're able to do if we want to hit some of those explosive pass plays.
Yeah, listen, that's been an issue all season long on offense. And they'll try, nope, they'll fake it on the first play. It's incomplete. Tried to get it to Jaden Sellers, and it was blown up by Brandon Strozier.
Well, part of the reason why we haven't seen a lot of run plays from South Carolina is we just haven't seen a lot of plays, period, from South Carolina. We just ran the 20th snap of the game offensively. The first play of the third quarter. So because of that, there's only so much that you can do, but you see the comparison of Lenora Sellers' numbers this year versus last in this game.
Fake the run here, Sellers over the top, and nope, it's miscommunication with Harbor, thrown into the bench, and quickly 3rd and 10.
Kind of reminiscent of that 2-minute drill that we saw at the end of the first half. Potentially a very quick possession. So you think about the first half, we mentioned that not a lot of snaps for South Carolina offensively. Well, conversely, somebody's out there playing football. It was Clemson, 47 offensive snaps. You're coming out of half, so your defense can kind of recoup. But you don't want a quick possession to start here in the third quarter.
On 3rd and 10, Lenore's throws underneath. Jaden Sellers right near a first down. Looks like he's a foot short. Now what does Shane Beamer do on 4th and a foot?
He's going to punt this football away, I think. But the thing is Mason Kelly was the one that got in there.
Oh, there it is.
Definitely a face mask that ended up on the jersey. But no question, Kelly, as he made that tackle, and that's what kept Sellers from being able to advance the ball to get the yardage needed.
They do punt it away on 4th and a foot. Mason Love, and a fair catch by Williams, just short of the 20. It's a 46-yard punt. Clemson with the ball and up 3.
It's a shame. Lobbying, saying, how do you miss that face mask? You could see why, the frustration, a little bit of frustration with the PI call in the second quarter as well.
Guys, keep an eye on Dylan Stewart, obviously South Carolina's best pass rusher. I've been watching him on the sideline after I was told at halftime he was being bothered by that hip that he's been dealing with for the last couple of weeks. He's been trying to stretch it out, and he looks like he is uncomfortable, so something to keep an eye on.
Definitely do that. Also, we'll keep an eye on Cade Klubnik, the way he ended that first half, moving rather gingerly.
Klubnik to Randall, and Randall will get a couple of yards.
Pretty muted rushing performance for Clemson as well. They've stayed committed to it. 24 rush attempts in the game so far for Clemson. So Garrett Riley committed to the ground game. But there has not been a lot of explosive opportunity there.
Oh, Alyssa mentioned Dylan Stewart. He is not out there on a 2nd and 7. Desmond Umazulu is. And Klubnik's ball is caught off of a deflection by a lineman. It was Colin Sadler off of the deflection from Umazulu.
A heck of a catch by Sadler. A great heads-up play. It's not easy to block and catch at the same time. The guy actually able to get a couple of positive yards after that one.
You ever make one of those?
No, they never gave me a chance. So unfortunate. I didn't have the big erector set on my elbow either, though. That's a great catch by him.
3rd and 5 for Clemson. Klubnik underneath, first down ball past the 30 as it's Moore on a slant.
South Carolina brought pressure. Klubnik knew he had to unload this football, was one short in the protection scheme. Fred Johnson untouched, right down the barrel, and Klubnik calmly able to deliver that strike to Moore for the conversion.
Look at the first down difference in only a 3-point game. Klubnik dumps it off, but over the head of Randall, facing pressure in the backfield by J.R. Johnson, forcing that incompletion.
Yeah, just enough too, and if he's able to get that to Randall, Randall's running for a first down. Plenty of room in front of him. A couple times in this game where Klubnik on the move, a little bit of difficulty with his accuracy, as you see Dylan Stewart on the sideline. That was an injury that we saw kind of emerge versus Oklahoma first half of the season. We tried to push through it. They said that he felt he's dealing with an injury, but felt good enough to go in this one. Haven't seen him in the second half.
On 2nd and 10, straight ahead Randall, not much. J.R. Johnson again with the stop, and it'll be 3rd down for Clemson, where they have been terrific today. You've mentioned it, they've gotten better as the game has gone along. 6 of 10.
No Dylan Stewart on the field. We saw earlier, Clayton White, defensive coordinator for South Carolina, decided to heat Cade Klubnik up.
Klubnik on 3rd and 9, facing pressure, throws a long throw, and it's incomplete. Brandon Cisse got his hand in on Tristan Smith to break up the pass, 4th down.
So you don't have one of your best pass rushers on the field, so bring it from the 2nd level. You see a little bit of a delayed blitz that time from Fred Johnson, able to get upfield quickly. That's twice. Back-to-back 3rd downs where Johnson's able to find his way to get free. Got a hit on Klubnik as well.
Vakari Swain is back there now, waiting at the 30-yard line on this Smith punt. And it looks like the Gamecocks got a piece of that. There are flags down on the field. Now, did they get a piece of the ball or just a piece of Smith?
The ball came off to the right.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker, defense number 44. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It's a good call. They didn't get a piece of that punt. It looked like maybe initially they did. I was with you, Taylor. The ball went hard off to the right almost immediately. But it also looked to me like he got blocked into the punter. It looked to me like they're towards the end. Yes, they were coming after, no question. But I'm not sure that what ultimately blocked into it, regardless, ends up being roughing the punter and an easy first down.
And the Gamecocks defense has to come back out there against Klubnik in the offense, and they bottle up Randall in the backfield. That's Brian Thomas Jr. 3 four-year backup, now a top-shelf SEC starter. What a season he's had.
You think back to the touchdown run by Klubnik. Nearly made a great play in the red zone, forcing the fumble that Klubnik ultimately recovered.
Dylan Stewart is out there for this 2nd and long. On 2nd and 12, Klubnik wide open. First down inside the 30 goes Bettenker.
We talked about the Clemson secondary and confusion in their coverage. Once again, South Carolina turned around, wide open receiver. Downfield, this time they're tied in Bettenker. We talk about some of the diminished passing numbers from Klubnik. Part of that was no Brenningstool at tight end, a significant contributor in the passing game, and Bettenker, the true freshman, having an impact in this game.
4 catches, 47 yards on the day for the freshman. That was 24 yards, and it's Randall. Doesn't get much. You think of Jake Brenningstool, had such a great career as a tight end for the Tigers. He had 127 catches, which was a school record. This year, 5 Clemson tight ends have combined for 45 catches. No Olsen Pat Henry, who's injured, and the freshman Bettenker has stepped up.
And it's been some games now, but no Bryant Wesco. I mean, that's part of the impact on the offense and the passing game is those weapons on the perimeter.
It's the 10th play of this drive after the personal foul. Klubnik, and it's at the feet of Turner. Covered up by Cisse.
We saw earlier, Taylor, with no Stewart on the field, South Carolina able to get to Klubnik. Klubnik was able to hit the slant more. But on the next one, able to get home. Fred Johnson able to make a nice play to force that punt. Ultimately, as you know, the penalty extending this drive. Now does South Carolina elect to try to pressure again, or do they rely on the rushers?
On 3rd and 9, underneath, it's caught, but short of the first down. It's Bettenker again. Fred J.R. Johnson on the tackle, and Dabo Swinney will bring the field goal team out.
Nice series for J.R. Johnson. Great job bringing pressure. That time able to drop back into coverage and get the needed tackle to force the field goal attempt.
Hoosier with a 42-yard field goal. What an incredible Clemson family. Mom Sherry, an All-American soccer star. Dad Scott, great baseball player on the College World Series team of the 90s. And his sister Ella, also a great soccer player. And Hoosier had the biggest field goal in Clemson history last year. He converts in the Palmetto Bowl here to give Clemson a 6-point advantage in the 3rd quarter.
get chills a week before one of these games.
Legends are made in that building right there. We on a whole nother level. Bigger than ever we've been. SEC champions.
And because of Texas's win over Texas A&M, the Georgia Bulldogs are back in that game. Next Saturday, they will meet either Alabama or Ole Miss. If the Tide wins the Iron Bowl on the plains of Auburn tonight, it'll be the Crimson Tide again. If they don't, Ole Miss makes their first ever trip to the SEC championship game. Harbor coming out and goes over the 15 near the 17-yard line. Just take a visual look at this for a second. Aggies will not be in the game. 11-0 start, but the loss last night knocks them out. Who do you like in the Iron Bowl tonight?
Yeah, I like Alabama, but I got to tell you, the way Auburn played, you think, versus Vanderbilt and that offensive renaissance, as it were, with Ashton Daniels in there at quarterback. You couple that with the way Alabama's performed. You think about that game versus Oklahoma. Simpson threw a couple of picks, but one of those end of half pass.
There's a flag down here. South Carolina has been completely ineffective running the ball.
What's fascinating about that, Taylor, is you only know Kirby Smart and Kalen DeBoer as the known commodities. Who knows who's coaching Ole Miss if they make that game?
Illegal formation offense, more than 4 players in the backfield. Penalties decline, second down.
So the result of the play makes it 2nd and 10. Something wacky always happens at Jordan Hare Stadium. Seems like it's a convincing Alabama win in Tuscaloosa. It's not the case in Auburn.
It's just always something crazy, right? I mean, in fact, the last time you were here, it was a crazy ending in Jordan Hare. Gravedigger.
We had Clemson and South Carolina coaches looking over our shoulder, watching it on the ESPN app at midfield. Sellers across the field, and Nick Harbor. What an athlete.
I mean, it just seems like it's almost like he just always runs out of field, but he is getting faster and faster. Just force him out of bounds. The only thing that's going to slow him down.
Leads the SEC in yards per catch, over 21 yards. Underneath ball. It's Harbor again. That's 13 more. When you're on the field with him before the game, this is not hyperbole. I think the first word that comes to mind is Olympian. He looks like an Olympic track star athlete, and really until he decided to completely concentrate on football, that could have been part of his future.
I mean, it's like a racehorse. I mean, literally just an impressive looking athlete and a great kid to talk to.
1st and 10, Sellers still with the ball, and Lenoris takes on Tigers and maybe gets a yard. Woodaz on the stop. South Carolina cannot run the ball today. -5 yards rushing going into that play. Remember what he did last year to Clemson, 166 rush yards, the 2 touchdowns, the 20-yard go-ahead touchdown run late in the 4th quarter last year. Proves South Carolina's rushing total to -4 with that 1-yard pickup. And Lenoris on 2nd and 9 is down on the ground again. T.J. Parker.
They're able to get there with just 4. See, the edge rushers force Sellers to step up. A great job by Parker finishing on the passer. You mentioned it, it's a stark difference from last year. 167 rushing yards, 166 after contact in the game last year for Sellers. And with that sack, his 5th, we'll call it rush attempt, -16 yards. Clemson's done an excellent job on the quarterback so far in this one.
Forcing another 3rd and long. Line of scrimmage ball to little brother Jaden. And he's down near the 45. Sammy Brown makes the tackle, and let's see what Coach Beamer decides to do. It looks like Mason Love will come onto the field. And And I bet everybody on Clemson sideline is going to be paying close attention to this, because this is in the area of Beamer ball, where Coach Beamer has attempted a number of fakes. 4th and 7. They do punt it away. Outstanding. Wow. Inside the 5, outside at the 4. Clemson up 6, but backed up.
SEC football, presented by Allstate, is brought to you by Regions Bank, official bank of the SEC.
Time now for the Allstate good hands play. Cade Klubnik drops it, picks it back up, runs it in for a touchdown.
Just like you drew it up, here's what you do. You're going to roll to the right, fumble it, okay? Then you're going to pick it up and run it in for a touchdown. Got it? We're only going to tell you. Everybody else is going to run a different play. Brian Thomas almost with a great play there. Instead, Cade Klubnik trumped it with an even better play of his own. Still has not been able to throw a touchdown in this series. As you mentioned earlier, Taylor has been very effective as a rusher, getting it in the end zone.
Backed up, his own 4. Hand it off, and Randall will dive forward for a handful.
Big opportunity for South Carolina here. They elected to punt the football. As you mentioned, it was kind of a spot where you could think, oh, you know, do you think fake? It was right at midfield. But you're playing for field position. As you see, you know, South Carolina, they've run 28 plays and had the ball for 12 minutes, just shy of 13. It's been all Clemson, and Clemson has marched some long drives. The Gamecock defense, the strategy here is, can they get a stop and get it back to their offense on a short field?
Klubnik, one-on-one ball, it's incomplete. Williams and Kilgore, and it's Kilgore who wins the battle.
That ball was thrown behind Williams. So you see this, the DB is in phase. He's hip to hip with that receiver, so the balls are underthrown. It gives your receiver a chance to come back for it. A great job by Kilgore fighting through the hands of Williams to get that breakup. Big third down here. No Dylan Stewart on the field for the Gamecocks as a pass rusher. When he wasn't on the field earlier, Clayton White brought pressure. Looks like they're going to play with 4 here.
And on 3rd and 5, it's right at the marker, but dropped. Williams was right there. Ran a 5-yard pattern, but couldn't make the catch. And it's a 3-and-out for the Clemson offense.
So the South Carolina strategy worked. You punt the football away, ask your defense to get a stop, and they do.
It makes a catch and turns here.
Yeah. I don't know if maybe they're not going to look at it. He did have 2 hands on it. Going to survive the ground, though. He was going to the ground as he made that catch. Big stop by South Carolina defensively.
Stop and look at it. Jack Smith punts it away. And it's Swain coming up. Can't field it. Well, he does field it off the bounce with Tigers near him. And South Carolina has great field position at their own 46-yard line. There is a flag down on the field.
During the kick, holding receiving team number 44. 10-yard penalty from the end of the play. First down.
So that backs up the Gamecocks a bit as we are in the season in Columbia.
Introducing Verts. Swipe for news and highlights. Now available on the ESPN app.
And if you're surfing on that app, you see Ohio State's up big on Michigan, Texas Tech blowing out West Virginia, Miami up 17 on Pitt.
Oh.
Louisville 27-0 lead on Kentucky. This is the early game to watch right now as Lenoris Sellers, he gets up near the 40-yard line. South Carolina has been unable to run the football today. Before that play, -8 rushing yards.
And Taylor, that offensive line all year has been a group that's been heavily criticized. They bring in Sean Elliott after relieving Lonnie Teasley. Just a few minutes ago, it was Nick Sharp, the redshirt senior, firing up those guys, encouraging that protection to be better.
Sellers throws short side, and it's Harbor again. Nick banged up in the Texas A&M game, missed last week's Coastal Carolina game, back today, and makes the catch for a first down as a career high in yards and catches today from Lenora Sellers.
But in the run game, the Sellers carry a play ago matched the longest run of the game of 4 yards. Well, part of it's just because South Carolina hasn't possessed the football. They've been explosive. You see the 5 receptions, 103 yards, bulk of those coming on his 50-plus yard touchdown catch.
This is Faison, and he breaks a tackle, and he gets up to the 46-yard line. It's a pickup of 8. That is the longest carry of the day for the Gamecocks.
So on cue, South Carolina going to the ground, trying to get that run element going a little bit, something the Clemson defense hasn't seen all afternoon.
Sellers, first down, inside the 40. Vandravius Jacobs.
Nice catch by Jacobs, a big shot taken on Lenora Sellers by Peter Woods. See Jacobs saying, I got to come out. He's wanting to come out. See him tapping that helmet. They're trying to go fast, not going to be able to make a substitution, don't want to.
Inside the Clemson 40, down 6. Faison again, spinning again. Rasul inside the 25. Khalil Barnes had a chance at him and couldn't get him on the ground.
Heck of a move by Faison. As Barnes is coming down, head of steam, he's unblocked. He's the unblocked defender. Hits a spin button, takes out the umpire. Umpire's been knocked down twice in this game. A lot of activity in the middle.
Strozier had a Gamecock by the t-shirt there, couldn't wrap him up. Sellers on a slant, incomplete. Tried to sandwich it in there to Jared Brown with Strozier in coverage.
Nice coverage that time by Strozier. So this offensive possession, you get sparked with that run game. It's almost like it gets Sellers into a little bit of a rhythm. Had that carry on first down for the 4 yards, and then you're able to get Faison going a little bit in the ground game. Also takes some of the pressure off of the offensive front in protection. Takes the edge off of that defense a little bit to see the ball coming at them offensively.
Lenore's, that ball's batted down. Will Helt, what a day this guy's had.
It looked to me like Brady Hunt was trying to block Will Helt. A little confusion here. Yeah, Hunt's not even looking for a pass right there. He's probably trying to get over Helt. Ball's a little bit low. And RPO that time. Great push up front. Offensive line actually knocked Clemson off 2 or 3 yards, but the ball got pulled. Good job by Helt getting his hands on.
PBU, 2.5 tackles for loss today for the Purdue transfer. 3rd and 10 for Lenoris, and he's taking a shot to the end zone, and it is intercepted. Ricardo Jones. That is number 5 for Jones on the season.
And only the 7th interception on the year for Lenora Sellers. 3-man rush, he had plenty of time. He's trying to get it to Harbor again. That time Ricardo Jones, he's just watching Sellers' eyes. Knows that he's going to work over there. You're already going to lean
the ruling
towards
on the
Nick
field
Harbor's
is an interception.
side.
The play is under further review.
Now let's watch this football as it goes to the ground. Jones takes a huge hit, and let's see if Ricardo still had control of that ball as it hit the Columbia turf.
Nick Harbor turned into a DB. He could see it. You see, Harbor wasn't really even looking for the football because he could see Jones tracking it. Watch Harbor. See, he's watching Jones He tries to lay a shot and does. The question is, does Jones possess this football all the way through? So he's got to survive the ground too as a receiver. This is a good look at it probably. That ball's moving an awful lot.
Nose of the football, does it hit the ground there?
It does. It bounces up. I'll be surprised if they say that if they uphold this interception, if they overturn, if they say that this is an incomplete pass and not an interception, heck of a play by Nick Harbor.
So it's either first down Clemson at the game at their own 20, or it's fourth down South Carolina in field goal position.
It was great awareness by Nick Harbor to turn into a DB on that one. Ball was in the air. He did not even look back for it. He converted into a DB himself, trying to knock that ball out. To me, the nose of the football clearly makes contact with the turf and bounces back up towards Ricardo Jones.
It's a long look by this ACC crew. Let's see what they came up with.
After further review, the ruling on the field is upheld.
Wow. I don't know how. The point of the football makes contact with the turf and the ball bounces up. I don't know how you could rule that he completed the catch right there. I don't know how that's firm control. They can't believe it. Even the Clemson fans are like, oh yeah, it's a catch. And we thought so too. I'm sure he will. Yeah, I'm really surprised at that. It looked to me like it was pretty clear that he did not have firm control of that football.
Well, it would have been a 40-yard field goal attempt to cut the lead to 3. Instead, Clemson has the ball up 6 at the end of the third quarter. And that's a pitch and catch up to the 29 to Williams on the last play of the third quarter. With that grab, he moves past the great DeAndre Nuke Hopkins for 4th in Clemson history with 207 catches. Klubnik and the Tigers up 6 going to the 4th.
Coach, I just saw you listening, talking to your team. What did you say to them?
Just what we've worked all season for, what we've worked for since January. One of the keys that we have every week is dominating the fourth quarter. That's part of our plan to win, and we haven't done a great job of it this season. And we're in a situation where we can go create some pretty awesome moments here in these next 15 minutes and leave it all out here, man. That's all we got.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Good stuff from both of you as we start the fourth quarter on a 2nd and 2. To his point, the Gamecocks have been within a touchdown in 9 of 11 games. And he, as he said, come up on the wrong end of most of them. Klubnik gets loose and runs for a first down and tackled by Vakari Swain. The first play of the fourth quarter.
The big challenge for South Carolina defensively. They did their job on the previous Clemson possession. South Carolina punted the football away from midfield, got that stop. They were aggressive, trying to push the ball into the end zone. Ends up being a turnover. We've seen that now for each team as they're going in with these picks to turn away scoring opportunities. Can Clemson capitalize on this possession?
Klubnik facing pressure, dumps it off. And Randall, so hard to tackle. Gets out of a couple, but still loses yardage on the play. Monkel Goodwine on the stop.
And you see Randall leaving the field quickly, holding that left arm. You always wonder, yeah, it looks like his left hand a little bit banged up. True freshman comes substituting in. Gideon Davidson in the backfield.
He's done a good job of spelling Randall today. They've combined for 100 yards rushing on 25 carries. Fake to Davidson, and now out of the backfield, it is Josh Sapp, the tight end. And Josh getting loose, picks up 22 yards.
Nice play design. Just leak Sapp out. Looked like he was going to be blocking on that divide zone. Instead, leaks into the secondary, no one accounting for him.
And Klubnik on a design quarterback run.
Now the QB's a little bit more active in it. You saw South Carolina getting Lenora Sellers more involved. QB designed runs. We've seen this a couple of times in this game. And Clemson has emptied out their backfield multiple times. You see some substitutions on both sides. See the center judge in there holding up.
4-yard pickup. And it's Davidson bouncing off Gamecocks with flags on the field.
So there's going to be another illegal formation, I think.
Illegal formation offense, more than 4 players in the backfield. 5-yard penalty, replay 2nd down.
Third time we've seen that called in this game.
Shane Beamer wind sprinted over to an official before the snap to inform him they are not set up properly.
Just FYI, hey, here to help. Both these head coaches involved, coaching their teams, coaching the officials. So far, it looks like a legal formation.
Klubnik. It'll be 3rd and long as he runs right into Troy Pikes. What a game he's had today.
Definitely been active. He's able to make that play early on the would-be screen. Had a big shot. Just kind of anchoring the middle. You see Klubnik. Couldn't really tell if that was intended to be a QB draw or not. If he was trying to get the ball out of his hands quickly. Regardless, well defended by South Carolina. Again, no Dylan Stewart on the field for this 3rd down. Certainly takes some of the teeth out of that South Carolina pass rush.
Packed Williams-Brice Stadium, yelling at Clemson and pressuring Klubnik, and that is incomplete. Antonio Williams tried to make the grab, but it hits the Williams-Brice grass, and it'll be 4th down. There's a Gamecock that is still down where Klubnik threw that ball.
Here's the pass to Williams, and that ball clearly skipping off the turf, incomplete. But Brian Thomas is banged up. Now South Carolina's already down their other pass rusher in Dylan Stewart. Thomas definitely in pain on the turf.
Timeout on the field. That is a good sign. Brian Thomas Jr., 2 tackles for loss and a forced fumble today. Has been excellent all season for the Gamecock defense. He is going into the medical tent to be evaluated there, but the Gamecocks certainly need him. He and his teammates forced a 4th down at midfield, and Clemson will punt it back to the Gamecocks. Up 6 in the game, Cade Klubnik trying for another win here in Columbia. Jack Smith trying to pin the Gamecocks deep. Swain at the 10-yard line. And goes in the end zone. It's a touchback. And now South Carolina, Swain picks it up. They blew it, the whistle. They have whistled this play.
They've been signaling touchback the entire time.
On the field, the kick landed in the end zone. By rule, that's a touchback. 1st down, South Carolina.
All right, let's go back to the studio and Peter Burns. Interesting. Yeah, Pete, the Canes still a chance to get to the college football playoff as an at-large. Need some help, though. BYU better win that game. If they don't, then all sorts of options in the Big 12. To the ground, it's Rasul Faison, who finally got going on that last drive for the Gamecocks, and he gets 7 on 1st down here.
I mean, great movement by the South Carolina offensive front on that play. You mentioned it, Faison getting going a little bit on the ground, something that South Carolina has been eager to do. They really just haven't been able to pile up snaps. We mentioned the limited offensive possession time they had in the first half.
On 2nd and 3, Sellers delivers a good ball to Jacobs. Jacobs had 4 catches in the last 4 games, Stinch. He has 5 today.
A big afternoon. Think about the big touchdown catch that he was able to do, run after catch. Good job in the protection, max protect. You've got 7 guys in there to keep the pocket clean. And of course, limits the number of receivers you have out in the route. Didn't matter with Jacobs.
And it's still Sellers. Lenoris is tackled after a first down. Wade Woodaz on the tackle down at the 41.
Big run, maybe an even bigger tackle by Woodaz, because we've mentioned repeatedly, not an easy man to get on the ground. Lenoris Sellers, he takes that one to the house if Woodaz doesn't get him on the ground. You see the quarterbacks getting in the ground game a little bit more.
Now wants to throw, and I think that was lost in the sunshine. Jordan Dingle, I don't think ever saw that football because of the sun in the middle of the field. 2nd down.
Almost got the umpire again. He's been caught in the crosshairs a couple of times, but you're right, Dingle, I don't think ever saw that football.
Have to run the ball effectively if South Carolina is going to come back and beat Clemson. But how about the receiving numbers for the Gamecocks today? 2 guys over 100 yards receiving, Vandravius Jacobs and Nick Harbor. You have to go back 7 years to Debo Samuel and Shi Smith doing that at Clemson in 2018. This is Sellers again, and he's inside the 35 where Sammy Brown makes the tackle. He owned the 4th quarter last year in the upstate, up in Death Valley, trying to do it again.
Well, he's starting to spool up. You see a couple of carries now. Challenging the Clemson 2nd level, both times linebackers, Wade Woodaz, this time Sammy Brown, able to get Sellers down, but not before a big gain to set up this 3rd down. Empty backfield, but always a rush threat with number 16 in at quarterback.
On 3rd and 3, Sellers throws it long, and it's incomplete. Harbor was bottled up by Ashton Hampton. Now it's 4th and 3. Field goal makes it a 3-point game, but the offense is staying out there.
The defense has played pretty well, so they forced back-to-back punts. But it looks as if South Carolina is going to say, look, we're going to go for this here. We talk about Sellers and his rushing ability. Mentioned earlier, better part of a 1/3 of his rushing production this season have been on money downs, 3rd downs or 4th.
There's some confusion getting the play in here, and South Carolina is going to have to call timeout. Oh, no, Clemson called it instead. South Carolina was making the signal over there on the sideline, so both teams needed to have a discussion there. Here's what's at stake. South Carolina trying for back-to-back wins against the Tigers for the first time since the head ball coach Steve Spurrier did it in 2012 and 2013. No Tiger team ever has finished with 7 wins after a 1-3 or worse start.
It starts with this one. We talked about it at the top. This game always means a lot to both of these programs, their fan bases, but even more so this year. Maybe for not reasons that the fan bases like, but this is the culmination of the season. Clemson will get a shot to play another game after this one, but it won't matter nearly as much. Most important game of the season for both, perhaps the most important play of the game, certainly for South Carolina.
Sellers steps back and throws, deflected. That's Wade Woodaz that forces the turnover on downs.
Well, they tried to get Clemson biting up, a lot of play action, heavy formation, and on 3 plays in a row, the Clemson linebackers come up big. Tip ball, Clemson ball.
SEC football is presented by Allstate. You're in good hands. And in part by T-Mobile 5G home internet.
It has been another wild one between Clemson and Carolina. Gamecocks using some big plays to score their 2 touchdowns. Clemson driving down the field. Kate Klubnik over 260 yards passing. How about the play Wade Woodaz just made to get that Clemson defense off the field?
It was a big one, no question about it. The linebacker stepping up big and versus the QB run game. And Kate Klubnik now setting out wide, wildcat formation for Clemson.
This is Williams at quarterback on a wildcat, and Williams gets up for 8, maybe 9 yards on first down.
Clemson trying to get a little bit of a spark offensively. Remember, they've really faced nothing but punts. If it weren't for a roughing the punter call earlier, South Carolina's gotten Clemson off the field. That led to a field goal. But the South Carolina defense has played outstanding here in the second half, forcing Clemson to punt the football back. Obviously with the 4th down attempt by the Carolina offense, asking their defense to get yet another stop.
And to the ground and a first down, and into South Carolina territory goes big Adam Randall.
He almost broke that one. Adam Randall, one more broken tackle, and he's off to the races. Narrowly missed an explosive run, something that's really eluded the Clemson offense all season long in the ground game. Just not enough explosive carries on the ground.
Randall 86 yards rushing today. Clemson has 131 as a team. And another physical run that takes him inside the 40 for 8 more.
And for Clemson, this is right on time. When we talked about it, it's been tough sledding in the second half offensively. South Carolina's been able to find ways to get them off the field. You know, the drive that got extended by the penalty, and the ground game now starting to get going a little bit. Has not been a lot of opportunity rushing the football for Clemson. Kate Klubnik got involved to start this drive. Spreads that defense out, gives them something else to look at in the offensive backfield.
Klubnik throws on the run, incomplete. Williams almost got it. Kilgore put his hand in there at the end, and now it's a big 3rd and 2 because you look at the clock, 6:37 to go. Clemson gets a first down and gets points out of this. It becomes a 2-possession game.
That's kind of been the story, and you look at the disparity. Clemson 6 of 14. Now one of those they were able to extend because instead of punting it away, they were able to extend that drive. We mentioned that penalty. In South Carolina, 3rd down's been a nightmare all game long. Defensively, Clemson's been outstanding on that down.
Bettenker blocking and Randall running for a first down.
A great push right up the middle. And Randall, no nonsense runner, just gets right downhill. Bettenker comes in there, he's able to get the split, gets a nice block inside out on the backside, but it's the push on the inside of that Clemson offensive front. Able to just displace South Carolina, and an easy pickup for Randall. No nonsense run, get downhill, get the conversion.
Bettenker's an impressive true freshman from Lakemore, Illinois. 5 catches in that big block too. Clemson is in field goal territory. Randall tackled for loss. Troy Pikes again. Pikes has really come on in the last few weeks, Snitch.
Yeah, he has. It's just does a great job of jetting upfield. When we talk about pass rushers, edge defenders, he's able to get a negative yardage play, and you're talking about field goal range. South Carolina doing a good job to try to push Clemson back. A negative yardage play to make it that much more difficult.
And still doing it without Dylan Stewart, guys. Nothing official from South Carolina, but he's been sitting on the bench for the last couple of drives.
2nd and 13, line of scrimmage ball. Williams breaks one tackle and gets inside the 35. Jalen Kilgore got him on the ground. And here comes a big 3rd down and 10.
They had that 3rd and short earlier. Handed off to Adam Randall. Easy conversion. Tougher here. Now, as Alyssa just noted, there's no Dylan Stewart. So the compensation that we've seen on 3rd down from South Carolina is additional rushers, more than 4. We saw one bring from the perimeter, but from the 2nd level as well. They've been filling up the pass rush lanes with linebackers.
On 3rd and 10 with a flag on the field, Klubnik delivers a 1st down ball to Williams. Down at the 20, let's see what the flag's about.
Illegal formation offense, more than 4 players in the backfield. 5-yard penalty, replay 3rd down.
4th time we've seen this called, and I think what's happening is I think that they're saying that Tristan Lee, the left tackle, is too far back in his pass stance, trying to get a little bit of a head start. It gets loud here on 3rd downs. He's trying to get a little bit extra room for his pass set, and end up costing his team a conversion. A lot of confusion on that. Ended up having to burn a timeout for Clemson offensively.
You think this game matters to 2 teams that have had a tough season? It's all on the line in the Palmetto Bowl. It's 3rd and 15 for Clemson at the South Carolina 39-yard line. And the game could be hanging in the balance here. Clemson gets enough yards to attempt a field goal and make it. It's a 2-possession game. The Gamecocks trying to prevent it and get the football back. And they'll run it, and they won't get anything. Jatius Gear.
As you said that, Taylor, I thought the mindset here has to be to try to gain yards to make it a manageable field goal attempt. You're not thinking 3rd and 15, especially the way the pass rush has been able to get to your quarterback. South Carolina was geared up for that. They're thinking the same thing. Excellent play. They weren't thinking pass rush.
And there's no Clemson player on the field right now. 10 seconds to go on the play clock. Dabo Swinney's either going to call timeout or take a delay of game here.
He takes the delay probably here. He's sitting with just that one timeout left. A great job by Jatius Gear. He's coming in there on the stunt. He was out there at end, and he's spiking inside. And they did.
Please reset the game clock to 3 minutes, 36 seconds.
Take the delay again.
36 seconds.
And we saw earlier, they almost got South Carolina pinned deep. Ended up being a touchback. You buy a little bit more room with the delay of game, and you preserve that timeout.
Jack Smith has had a good year. Punter from Lower Alabama trying to pin the Gamecocks deep. And he's done just that. Well done, down to the 5. And Lenoris Sellers, he was the hero last year in Clemson, winning the game with his legs. Can he do it again this time in Columbia?
Well, you've got time to work with. You just got a ton of field to cover. In this game, they have not driven the football. The longest possession lasted 8 plays. And where South Carolina has really struggled is when it's obvious passing scenarios. It doesn't have to be that here. With 3:29, you've got 3 timeouts and the 2-minute. So because of that, you've got time to work with, but you got to ask your offense to do more than it's done all afternoon.
Is in zone, up top, deflected, intercepted. There's Jones again, pick 6. That's Ricardo's 2nd of the day, his 6th of the season.
They came out throwing in their own end zone, trying to get it to Nick Harbor. Ball got deflected up, and Harbor, I think, thought it was just going to go to the ground, and instead, Jones comes up with another takeaway. Taylor, you think about in this game, we've seen it a couple of times. As you see the nice protection, clean enough pocket, and Laura Sellers trying to get it upfield, ball gets deflected. I don't think Nick Harbor realized where the ball was going, and Jones comes up underneath it. Ashton Hampton was the one that was able to get the breakup, and the ball deflects up. You can see Harbor, he was looking down at the ground. I don't think he saw where the football had gone after the breakup, and Jones comes running underneath it.
Jones now tied for the lead in all of college football with 6 interceptions on the season. Clemson did use its final timeout. Looks like they're prepared to go for 2 here to make this a 14-point lead.
You think back to the takeaways. Look at the interception that was made earlier. Missed opportunity for South Carolina. pick in the end zone. We've seen a couple of those in this game to deny scoring opportunities, go in both directions.
Let's go for Dos, brought to you by Dos Equis. Klubnik. 2 for 2 on the season. Rendell with the 2 points.
Well, he hasn't thrown a touchdown pass still, but he has thrown a 2-point conversion. It may not matter. He's not keeping track of that, I'm sure. A jarring turn of events for the home crowd. You're thinking your offense is about to stage a drive, perhaps. Instead, a pick going the other way, and Clemson gets out there for an easy 2-point conversion, get their back fast out there to the flat, and able to make it a 2-touchdown lead with only 3:20 to play. A tall task for this offense based on what we've seen this afternoon.
Such a tight football game until that play, and Dabo Swinney is loving it over on the Clemson sidelines. He said it has been such a privilege to coach in this rivalry. This is the 17th time as a head coach he's done it. Actually said that one of his most favorite moments came when he was the wide receiver coach when they came over here and won.
Well, we said earlier, plenty of time. Not the case any longer. So now South Carolina, a very real sense of urgency, already going to be was going to be a challenge, because inevitably there were going to be some passing scenarios in that possession. Now it's, you've got to gain a lot in a little. You got to try to cram in 2 possessions in 3:20.
And preferably you'd score before that 2-minute timeout. Too high on a slant to his little brother. And it'll be 2nd and 10.
The key here, obviously, get the drive started. You got to get it rolling a little bit. Ball comes out quickly, so only the 4 seconds roll off. And as you mentioned, Taylor, is there a way to try to keep it moving quickly? Try to leverage the 2-minute drill. And Clemson defensively, talk about the defenses here in the second half, have been outstanding.
Sellers outraces Tigers to the sideline. Has really struggled throwing the football here in the second half. He's just 1 of his last 10.
When I think about these linebackers for Clemson, you know, Woodaz, Sammy Brown, they played really well, especially in the second half. You think about the drive earlier. They're able to get some key stops in the ground game, got the tip ball on a 4th down attempt. They've been excellent. They have contained Lenora Sellers and tackled when they had to.
Nick Harbor, that is a 1st down, and then fumbles the ball, and it's recovered by Clemson. Sammy Brown recovers it, and the South Carolina turnovers are just too much.
Well, Harbor trying to make some plays after the catch. He come in there, just popped it out. Great job getting their hand right on it was Ronan Hannafin. Got his left hand in there to pop it out of Nick Harbor's arms. Sammy Brown's there to collect it. There's that line, those linebackers for Clemson. They've had a whale of a second half. Jefferson, Georgia's finest. Sammy Brown, heck of a high school football player. Darn good takeaway there, and that's been for the last 2 possessions. You think South Carolina, you hang tight in there, you got a chance to make a run at it. It was already going to be tough on that previous possession. Back-to-back turnovers, just brutal.
And Rendell will get a few more. That could be right at 100 yards rushing for him as the Gamecocks will use their first timeout. Dabo Swinney in his 18th year as the head coach at Clemson. The win here today ties Joe Paterno and Urban Meyer with 187 wins. It's the fourth most for a coach in their first 20 years. Of course, he's had those 2 national championship wins. But he says this team has fought for the place. And he loves coaching in this game. He said, I would rather have lost to the Gamecocks than never have coached in the Palmetto Bowl. Stands to be 10-7 as a head coach with a win here today. And how about this stat? If this score holds, Stitch, he matches Alabama since 2011 with 139 power wins, the most in college football.
Yeah, pretty remarkable. It's been an amazing run, a disappointing season, no question, for Clemson. They've had some close losses, some near misses. They have not played great in the fourth quarter. But they played well enough in this fourth quarter. Like we said, this game meant even more. If that's possible, right? Because usually both these teams are pointing towards something else. South Carolina was vying for a playoff berth. Clemson was a playoff team a season ago. Different this time around. There's more teeth in it.
Just a reminder, coming up next, it's the Battle Line rivalry. Arkansas and Mizzou. We called it last year in a blizzard in Como. It's in Fayetteville this time. And tonight, it's the Skycast broadcast of Alabama and Auburn, the Iron Bowl at 7:30 Eastern. That was the game that Dabo Swinney paid exclusive attention to as a kid. Of course, winning a national championship in 1992 as a receiver for the Crimson Tide. You mentioned it's not the last game that Clemson will play. Mark Schleybaugh and Kyle Bonagura are bowl gurus. Say it's either the Gasparilla Bowl or the Sun Bowl, most likely for Clemson.
It'll sound warmer than it is here today, that's for sure.
Randall on a 3rd and 5 gets the first down. There is a flag down, and Randall's running into the end zone.
Bring this one back. Center judge.
Offense, number 50. 10-yard penalty. Replay 3rd down.
Yeah. A little bit of tugging of the jerseys there, just enough to draw the flag. Haven't seen many go against Clemson other than formation issues. We were patient with the ground game early, proved to be opportunistic. Wasn't a great second half for this offense. You know, credit South Carolina defensively. They did an excellent job. Really just 3 points. Remember the one with the pick 6. It's going to show like 10 points in the second half, but 7 of those go to the defense. 8 with the 2-point conversion.
Peter Woods in the backfield is Klubnik facing pressure in the backfield and just has to throw it away, and it'll be 4th down. A lot of talking between these two teams. This game that means so much. Gamecocks and Shane Beamer winning it on the road the last 2 times they've been to Clemson.
That's a weird kind of dynamic in this rivalry where the away team seems to enjoy the most success. At least the last 5 times.
Yeah, it's going to be 6 in a row if this score holds for the road team. Nobody's deep for South Carolina here as Jack Smith will try to punt this away. .11 up on the line trying to block it. Smith gets it off. And another terrific job by Smith to pin the Gamecocks deep. Well, how about the last time a home team won a game in this series? Trevor Lawrence back in 2018 to T. Higgins. Christian Wilkins diving over.
Wow.
And that 56-35 win. Deebo Samuel scored in every way you can for the Gamecocks in a losing effort that day.
God, that feels like forever ago with those names. Unreal. It's been an away team's delight in this one for sure. Prior to that pick six, though, this was nip and tuck really throughout the second half.
And Norris downfield, and that's a good ball to Jaden Sellers. Little brother makes the catch at the 2-minute timeout.
Sellers got popped on that end of it as well.
Clemson less than 2 minutes away from another Palmetto Bowl win. Two good friends that have beaten each other each of the last 4 years. Exchanged a lot of ideas throughout the year, and they had a long conversation on the field before this one started. Gamecocks need a miracle with 1:56 to go. And Sellers downfield incomplete. Hannafin in there to break it up.
He's made a couple of nice plays, Hannafin. Almost looked like they were going to fit it in here to Sellers. Should have fit it in there. Sellers had two hands on it. Hannafin able to get the break up, forced the fumble earlier from Nick Harbor. Sellers certainly emerged, the other Sellers, the receiver version.
Norris trying to get rid of it as he goes to the ground. Incomplete. He had Sammy Brown all over him there. Third down.
Clemson has tackled really well. They've been a good tackling team all season long, and that proved to be the case again today. Just multiple times. You think about to the one drive earlier in the fourth quarter, looked like Sellers was going to break a couple of runs. able to track him down in the open field and get one of the toughest ball carriers in college football on the ground.
South Carolina's 0 for 8 on 3rd down. Make that 1 for 9. As Faison is able to move the chains.
Yeah, so you're able to clean up that part of the box score. That O was an ugly one. Has hurt the team all game long.
Deflected again by Brown. With 1:24 to go in the game. You think of the Gamecocks this year, the best teams they played, Texas A&M, Alabama, every chance to win both of those games, losing in heartbreaking fashion on this field to the Crimson Tide in overtime, up 30-3 at halftime in College Station, unable to win either one of those games. And Shane Beamer's talked about how close they have been, as it'll be 3rd down on another Brown deflection. Shane told us yesterday something interesting that I think all Gamecocks fans need to pay close attention to. He said, quote, "I'm going to make the hard decisions that takes our program from being a 9-win team last year to being a college football playoff team moving forward." He does believe that he has the support too from the school, from the administration. Their forward-thinking athletic director, Jeremiah Donati, got plenty of support from him. And Brown is deflecting balls on every play.
It's 11 passes broken up, by the way. 11. Incredible. Sammy Brown just reading the eyes of Lenora Sellers.
But,
Go ahead.
But Gamecocks fans, with what Shane Beamer did last year, winning 9 games, and I think had a college football playoff caliber team at the end of the season, should still have hope that they have the right coach, they have the right people supporting their coach. They need to have a big offseason that starts immediately.
They got to fix the offense. I mean, I think it's that simple. Defensively, in this game included, they played good enough to win on that side of the ball.
Great catch going upstairs by little brother Jaden Sellers, who in the last few weeks has really come on. There's a flag down where he made that catch. 21-yard completion.
There's no foul in the play for targeting.
Yeah. Thought maybe that's why it came out. It was a clean shot. See Sellers goes up, defenseless player. Yeah, that's a clean play. See why the flag came out, makes sense, but definitely a clean play there.
And Norris dumps it off, and it's Jaden again, down near the 30. South Carolina finished the season 4-8. Clemson at 7-5, with a bowl assignment coming up a week from Sunday. Norris gets to the sideline.
But as you were saying, Taylor, from South Carolina's perspective, you make 2 changes on the offensive side. You make a change, offensive line coach going into the Oklahoma game. And later, you make a change, an offensive coordinator after the Ole Miss game. And you saw a little bit of life, but that's the side of the ball, and Shane Beamer knows it. He's got to get it right as far as those hires. God knows that he has to make 2 hires to fill those spots.
TJ Parker again with the sack, and Cade Klubnik loves it. Klubnik is going to leave this series having never thrown a touchdown pass, but he had a bunch of rushing touchdowns in the series.
Here's Parker just winning on the edge, 3-man rush and just power rush. Cade Klubnik's fired up. Did he get that 2-point conversion? Through that one.
South Carolina does use that final timeout. Always a privilege to be with this great crew. Our production team, known as Tupelo Honey, actually went to a Tupelo Honey restaurant here in Columbia because with the same name, you have to do it. And Nick Young, our very favorite director in the world, brought an Al Michaels-like spread here to the booth at halftime, and I am still drooling over the shrimp and grits and the pecan pie, or as my wife and you say, pecan pie. Oh, there it is. There's the spread. There's the chicken, the collard greens.
Oh, the greens were unbelievable.
There's some bacon in there.
Yeah.
How do you say that word?
Pecan.
Pecan is what you say,
Well,
pie.
pecan. Hey, man, whatever. Just bring it out.
Shrimp and grits are great. Nick, you're a great American. God bless
There
you.
you are. Late bid for Director of the Year.
Food is the way to our heart, literally. 2nd and 14. Sellers down again. T.J. Parker with another sack. Dabo Swinney's going to improve to 10-7 in the Palmetto Bowl, coaching all the way to the finish. Jacobs out of bounds with a couple seconds to go.
Well, we said it multiple times. In this season, this game means even more. They make it that much sweeter for the Clemson Tigers to continue the road game or the road team victories.
There's a lot of people that gave up on Dabo Swinney earlier this season.
Yeah.
And gave up on this Clemson team. He didn't, and his players didn't. And from 1-3, they finished the season with 7 wins. Biggest comeback story in Clemson history. It ends with a Jacobs catch and a Brandon Strozier tackle, and Clemson celebrates in Columbia again.
Well, it wasn't pretty in the second half for Clemson offensively. It didn't matter. Their defense did the job. Able to find the end zone, complemented with a 2-point conversion. Some key takeaways in this game that kind of framed out the outcome. But another victory for the road team, and you see two coaches that respect one another quite a bit in a big rivalry.
2 class acts right there. That's what sportsmanship is all about between those two. Let's go down to Alyssa.
You might be right, Coach. Coach, you healed.
I'll take you, though.
Thanks, Dabo. You healed the heartbreak from a season ago. How did this group get this one done on the road today?
Well, I mean, this is not an easy place to play, and you know, I'm just really proud of them. Come down here, and this is our 6th win in a row down here, and these seniors are leaving here undefeated down here. Again, I got a lot of respect for Shane and the way he does things, and this was a good football team. But I'm just proud of our guys. I mean, we just really dug in defensively that second half, and we did enough offensively. We did enough offensively. Hey, break that up. We did enough offensively to get control of it, and just thankful for the win.
Congrats, Coach.
Thank you so much.
Thank you both. That's all here in Columbia, where Clemson knocks off South Carolina 28-14. For Matt Stinchcomb and Alyssa Lang and our entire crew, I'm Taylor Zarzer. So long. We send you to Fayetteville.
Yep. Cade, y'all came in here and battled. You got this win. How was this group able to come together and do it today?
Yeah, I mean, we just depend on each other, you know, and this team is, it's a team of fighters, and it has to be perfect, but man, it's fun. It's fun to win, and it's fun to win against these guys, and I'm just so grateful for the staff and the people that we have in the building, and, you know, I think the biggest thing was, you know, it's a rivalry game. It's never going to be perfect, but to just continue to lean on each other, offense, defense, have each other's back, that's what we did all day, and it was awesome.
Coach said this is a group that plays for the place. Y'all love Clemson so much. What has this year been like, culminating with this at the end?
Clemson, you know, it just means everything to me, and this place is so special. And to go out on top right here, and got one more game left, you know, I wouldn't have won it any other way.
Congrats, Cade.
Thank you. Appreciate you.